YouTube, this video is all about hot weather hiking boots. For me personally, I grew up in the north where having a waterproof boot, full leather boot was the norm and really was needed given the mixed conditions of living up there. Several years ago, I moved down to the Southwest, which really I found myself now hiking in areas that were far more arid and not really encountering that much water and rain on a regular basis. I had purchased a pair of boots from a manufacturer that were absolutely fantastic. I was really happy with them. They had no waterproof membrane to them. They were very well ventilated. Unfortunately, over time, again in use, they finally died and I needed to make a move to find a new boot. Fortunately, I had a boot already lined up. I had already purchased a pair of Merrell Moab mid-height non-waterproof boots for a scout excursion to northern tier up in Canada, where they did recommend the Merrell specifically because of how low the venting of this boot actually is, in that it allows a lot of water when your feet are wet to actually drain out of the boot and provide you with less water underfoot while in a high wet condition as you would have in a canoeing environment. So I took these boots out and I tried actually hiking with these boots in my area. And what I found is that while yes, they may vent well and they are very cushy and very nice out of the box, the downside to these boots is that I really felt as though they did not provide the level of support that I was really looking for in a true hiking boot. The Merrells do have a tendency to not have a lot of torsional rigidity. They are very soft and cushy right out of the box. Truly lovely to put on and walk around the store in, but really they were missing some edge, torsion, stability. And I found that even through this sole, I was able to feel rocks underfoot during all of my hiking, which is really not what I wanted in a boot. Additionally, the ankle support was greatly lacking in these boots. You can see here that they're very soft in the heel cup. And also later on, we'll talk about lacing and lacing heights and how important that is when choosing this boot and really thinking about what you're getting. So I said, gee whiz, let me find something that actually has a bit more ankle support in particular, and also to go ahead and have some great venting. Now I mentioned membranes and waterproofing, and so what I wanted to avoid is anything that has a waterproof membrane built into the boot. Waterproof membranes do work well in wet conditions and also when it's cooler out to help transport moisture away from the foot. Unfortunately, they also tend to keep heat in versus a non-waterproof boot. And so again, being in a more arid environment, I was looking for a boot that really had much better ventilation. So I took a look at a couple of additional boots from Oboz. First up is this Sawtooth II Mid. And again, this boot is a non-waterproof boot from the folks at Oboz. Really great aggressive tread design that should yield some good traction. However, what I found with this boot is that this too has questionable torsional rigidity to it. When I put this on and I walked around with this on, I found that really it still has that sneakery feel to it that is just very soft and cushy out of the box. Again, I haven't had these on trail yet to really try them out, but what I've determined is that just from walking around the house, they're too soft for me and really not going to deliver what I'm looking for in a boot. Highly vented in terms of the amount of mesh all the way around the boot. So again, it should provide some great venting for a hot weather boot. And you'll see that the collar on the ankle does come up a little bit higher than the Merrell, and you can see where it ties is actually a little bit higher up. So it does give a lot more ankle support than what I was able to find in the Merrell Moab itself. However, again, due to the torsional rigidity issue, I really didn't feel as though this was going to be the right boot. Lastly, I landed on the Oboz Bridger Mid Vent. Now this boot, again, is a non-waterproof, no membrane version of the Oboz Bridger. This, again, comes up high on the foot, has great ankle support, And in terms of that torsional rigidity, they have a different construction in the sole that allows for a lot better control of the boot and the flexing in the sole if you're going to be off trail or carrying heavier loads. You'll also notice that it's got a really nice cuff or cup in the ankle, so that it does provide a tremendous amount more support than what I was finding in the Merrell itself.
Here's a good look at the height of the boots, and you can see here how the Bridger Vent Mid is a tad bit higher. And what that allows for the Bridger to do is to allow for a higher level on the ankle to actually tie the boot relative to where the Merrell is able to be tied. So if you take a look there, the ankle is a lot more supported versus how low the laces actually get tied off on the Merrell. This leads to much greater ankle support and stability when carrying loads and hiking off trail.
It should be noted also when purchasing boots, what about the insole? This is the insole from the Merrell. It's a pretty standard athletic midsole. It does provide, or insole I should say, it does provide some arch support. However, again, Oboz really touts their insole and the construction and rigidity and support of their insole. For me personally, I use a custom insole, so therefore I really don't ever hike with any of these in my boots. But you may find that you prefer one insole versus the other. If I were to choose myself, it would certainly end up being the Oboz to go with that insole, and that comes in either of their boots that we've talked about today. For me personally, what I'll be wearing on the trail coming up to replace the pair of boots that I've truly enjoyed, it's going to be the Oboz Bridger Mid Vent. I feel that this really gives me the best combination of tread stability, ankle stability, and venting. I don't think this is going to vent as well or be as cool as what I may find with the other two boots. But again, this overall is going to give me what I feel to be the best possible combination that I can find on the market today in 2021. Let me know in the comments below as to what you think is really a great alternative for a hot weather boot for your hiking experience. No matter what you put on your feet, get out there and enjoy the outdoors.